I am not at all sure how this is possible, but you and I have been at this ministry thing together for a year now. I don't know how that happened. No. I don't know how that has happened. I don't know where it's gone, but the calendar says it's been a year. So here we are. It's an awesome time to take a little look back at what we've accomplished together in 2018 and take a look forward into our future and begin to take the first steps into our future. Are you with me on that so far? All right. For starters, did you notice this morning that the entire building was warm when you came in? If you get a chance, would you thank Matt Hansen and Philip Moore and Dennis Conley for their undying dedication and hours to help us have warm spaces in this building? It has been a ton of work, and we're still working out some details and some kinks, but as you can see this morning, we're getting there. We have a new sound system. The choir can hear the speakers a little bit better, and I'm hoping that we're still working out some kinks on that as well, but I think overall things are much better in our sound arena, and you can thank Bill and Rob especially for all of the untold hours that they have put in that over the last 6 months or so. We have new disability access going into our RE building. We have a new irrigation system. We have some new blinds. We have a new bookkeeper on staff. That was a new position. And those are just some of the larger scale intangibles that we've been able to accomplish over the last year. And I like to think that we're growing in some of the intangibles too. You heard this morning about how welcomed Jennifer felt, and I like to think that we're deepening our sense of what it means to be of radical hospitality and an extravagant welcome of all people. I'm also hoping that we're continuing our quest to be spiritual seekers, that we are becoming grounded in our sense of who we can be together spiritually, and we're growing each in our individual paths and our collective spirituality. We have consistently a few more folks joining us each month, bringing new energy and new ideas, and that is very exciting. And in our social justice work, we have done a lot of work on affordable housing in our community and getting our commissioners to pay attention to that. There's another commissioner meeting in February that we want to be engaged in. We have more and more folks working with feeding hungry persons down on Record Street. Some folks have been creating hats, and I don't know how many hats, Emily, like over 150 hats, some scarves and gloves that we can pass along to people who are on the streets and who are cold. We continue to help staff the overflow shelter. And the Citizens Climate Lobby had an event here last night. Our own Green Sanctuary has been partnering with Citizens Climate Lobby, and because of their work and their efforts, Washoe County Schools passed the first in the state school board initiative about climate change. And it is the first in Nevada, the 25th in the country, and ours is not lip service. It is rigorous. So you can be very proud of our work in that arena. Many other things that we do on an ongoing basis. We volunteer at the food bank. Our finances are stronger than they've been in the last few years, thanks to your generosity and the work of our board and stewardship. And we want to continue that and get in an ever more stronger financial position, keep growing in abundance mentality, keep moving toward a stronger position financially. There's many new initiatives in religious education, and I hope and I think that our new chair configuration reflects our theology a little bit better, because there's two reasons for that. It reminds us that we can see each other a little bit better by being in the round, so it reminds us to see each other in community. And the other reason is, you know, when we have theater seating, the structure of that makes it like these people up here are doing what's being done and those people are watching. Well, we're all participants. We're all in this together, so we're all participants. And this helps remind us of that a little bit more. So many things to celebrate over the last year. Many folks stepping up in new ways, trying out new things, volunteering for things. I'm going to ask you to do something for a couple minutes. I'm going to ask you to take a little trip with me. What I want you to do is close your eyes, if that's comfortable for you. Ground your feet on the floor. Take a few deep breaths. And I want you to go with me 5 years into the future, to the year 2024. Let your imagination just go to what is happening around this place 5 years from now. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Let your dreams and imaginations fill in the images and the sights and the sounds. What are we doing? What are we paying attention to? Who's here? Five years into the future. I'm going to invite you now back to this space from your time travel. And travel back again 5 years to here in this place together. And I wonder if there are a couple of folks who would be willing to share what you experienced here 5 years from now. Stan?
5 years from now, I see a larger choir, and I see a refugee family who sits in our congregation every Sunday.
New RE classrooms, new RE building.
Reverend Foster will be in her new office out here on the side, and our capital program will take care of that.
In 5 years from now, I see the schools that step forward on sustainability and climate change and are help drive a world movement towards healing the planet.
I, excuse me, I see a sanctuary with open doors where anyone can come in at any time and find a moment or a safe space to reflect and to meditate.
I see full-time RE director and a full-time office staff.
I see the congregation looking at building a brand new green sanctuary because so many people in Reno have joined the UU.
Any others? Betty.
I think there are Unitarian Universalists outside this area that we need to be reaching out to in the Carson, Minden area, the Winnemucca, Yarrington area. I can see that we need to light our light out in this northern Nevada area.
I see more immigrant community coming in and sitting in with us.
Oh, beautiful dreams, beautiful hopes. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to go there, right? And the only way that we can go there is what? Together. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's even better. And one step at a time. Sometimes we can only see the next step in front of us. Sometimes we can't plan every detail of 5 years out, but we can take the next right step that we can see. You know, we're living in unprecedented political, environmental, and technological times, are we not? And so we have to continually ask ourselves, what do those things say about who we want to be, who we need to be in this community, who we are called to be? What does a spiritual community need to look like in 5 years to address the times that we're living in right now? Who do we need to be? What are the kind of things we want to be doing for each other in our community? You want to know what my dream is? My dream is that our internal workings of the church, our committees, our staff, our day-to-day life, are such a well-oiled machine that we spend the bulk of our time and energy out there doing the work that needs to be done outside our walls. That's my dream. And to do that, we need everybody on the train. We need everybody stepping up, being committed, making that happen, both internally and externally. So that the real focus is on changing the world. The real focus is our justice work. And we've got some things to work out. That's not going to be easy. We've got some things to look at in our day-to-dayness. As mentioned earlier, the positions, sometimes people need to step out of positions due to personal reasons. And I hope that every person in this room is thinking, is that something I can do? Can I give a few hours a week to help with that situation? There are a few things that we have in place to help our becoming toward that. 2 weeks from today, here in this room, we're going to focus on building together a community covenant. We are a covenantal faith, but we don't have a congregational community covenant that calls us to our best selves in who we are together. We have a mission statement, we have a statement of values, but we don't have a community covenant that addresses how we are together. Many congregations have that, and one has never been created here. So we're going to start that process in worship 2 weeks from today and continue it into the early afternoon. And I hope that you'll come and lift your voice and be a part of that to include what's important to you to be included in that. Every voice is important. We have some long-range planning activities that are beginning to look at who we want to become long-term. Our regional UUA liaison is going to be here in April to do some development and some training, and we're looking at what do we most need, how can we take advantage of that opportunity with her here to move us some steps along the road to what we're talking about. There was a young woman. She was preparing a ham for the holidays, and so she did it the same way that her mother had always done it and her grandmother had done it before her. And so she took the ham and she cut the end off of it and she put it in the baking pan and put it in the oven. And her beloved partner said, "Why'd you cut the end off of it?" And she said, I really don't know. Let me call my mom and ask why we cut the end off of it. She called her mom and said, "Call your grandmother. That's just the way your grandmother always did it, so it's how I always did it." So she called her grandmother, and her grandmother said, "Well, my pan wasn't big enough." We might have some hams around here that we might want to take a look at in a new way. Are you with me? What is so true is that our world is changing more rapidly right now than at any time in human history. And what that means is, as a spiritual organization, we have to change too, right along with it. As the world gets more and more into technology, we have to continue to be a place where we have the face-to-face, hand-to-hand, heart-to-heart human connections. It's one of our gifts. And we have to continue to figure out how to do that in this rapidly changing world. We have to ask and figure out all the time, who is it that we're becoming? Who is it that we want to be, given the world that we're living in? And I would just offer a couple of reflection questions, things to just ponder, think about, reflect on as we move into our future. And one is, might be worth pondering into the long term. Does our name say what we want it to about who we are and what we want to become? It's really long to put on a lot of... The issue of a capital campaign has already been raised. Do we want to embark on a capital campaign to either finish the phases of this building that were dreamed of when this building was built 15 years ago, or do something different over there? Something we need to look at in the next few years. So we have to continue to ask these questions and reflect and ponder who it is that we're being called to be, what it is that we're being called to do. How can we serve our community in the best way? And so much of that lies in our justice work. That's really where the answers are of who we want to be. and how we can serve, to expand that capacity, to be more and more passionate and engaged about that work. What are the ways that what we're doing is sustainable, and what are the ways that it's not sustainable into the future? What are the ways that we can think innovatively, really be creative and innovative and cutting edge, thinking outside the box toward the future to serve our community? We need everyone committed and engaged. And I just want to say, too, you know, my dream about having things so well oiled here that we can do the justice work. Lots of folks who come in want to do the justice work, and that's great. We need that. And we need people to help create that well-oiled machine in here so we can focus more largely on that. So we have to have both. It's got to be a both and. We need everyone committed and engaged, stepping up, asking the question, what's my best fit? What are my talents and gifts best used for? What is it that I can learn so that I can contribute? We are stronger together. We are stronger and mightier together. There is so much unbelievable potential in this congregation going forward. If I didn't believe that, I wouldn't be here. And I believe that with all of my heart and being. That we have not even begun to taste. We have not even stepped into the brink of what we're capable of. I think we can't even see it yet. And the reason I believe that is because I know you. I know you individually, and I know you collectively. I know your heart, and I know your passions. And that's why I'm so sure that our future's so bright, we got to wear shades. Are you on board? Okay. Be assured, beloved, that the task is mighty, and so are we. Would you rise in body or spirit?